Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Waking up, not showering, then going for a motorcycle ride without a helmet, with 98 degrees and 70% humidity is the recipe for Japanese anime hair. Yes. So if you're a white guy and you want anime hair, those are the key ingredients to get it. Now I need a sword, or you should be able to turn into a robot shrimp or something. I don't know. You watch enough anime, you're like, what the fuck are they doing in Japan? This makes no fucking sense. Cowboy Bebop really was about the only good thing. That and Robotech. Now watch everyone. You gotta watch. Yes, Mr. Fuller. I know. Spice and Wolf, or Wolf and Spice. So Cappy all woke up, had to go get cigars. Do you really care about my day? No, you don't. You want me to answer questions on Asshole Consulting. So we have a video request, and as always, if you have a request, video or not, private or public, or you think that your particular problem is one that many people have, you'd like me to do a video so other people, you might help other people, go to assholeconsulting.com, send me your request, and we'll price you out. You pay me the money, I wake up, and I sit in front of this camera and I tell you what I think. Hello, Aaron. I'm a 23-year-old Chinese girl living in South Korea. Hey. So far, I've already wasted my time majoring in tourism. Oh, you poor, foolish girl. Now, right now, I'm stuck in the tourism master's program because I was in panic before graduating from university, and it's the easier way to go. But now I really need to do something to save my poor decision. I have less than 1 year left to get some real practical skills to set the stone for my first job. I was thinking about a trade. Could you give me some practical advice on how to get the first job that is irrelevant to my current degree? Thanks. All right, well, and we had a little bit more of an exchange, but I guess we could also, because travel and hospitality or tourism, this is a scammer degree that they target women with, these worthless schools. And they know exactly what you girls are thinking. They're thinking, you think it's going to be cool to major in travel and tourism. And like, oh my goodness, I get this degree and I'll travel because I like to travel. All you girls that put in your dating profiles, I like to travel. Yeah, I like to breathe oxygen too. I like to have sex and I like to play with boobies. I like to play video games. No fucking shit, you like to travel. Anyway, because everybody likes to do that doesn't mean that there's a market for it. So this is a scam degree, and you just waste your money. So how do you recover from this? Well, here's the deal. You might as well just get your fucking master's. And it sounds like you're going to do it because you're already there. But then the trick is, how do you transition into another field? Well, here's what I'd recommend, because we had a little bit further conversation. Take the shot. This is like a finance degree. You could be one of those rare people that actually do it. Like, you know, just because the degree sucks and the industry sucks and your job prospect sucks doesn't mean you're going to suck. You could have whatever traits and characteristics it is that you would excel in tourism. So you put all this effort into it, you might as well apply for jobs. You might as well see if you can get it. And who knows, you may do well. Like me, I was great in finance in terms of study. Well, I'm actually great in finance and economics in terms of the real world as well. I predict things and they happen. Wow, man, who would want to hire that fuck? No, we don't want him in here. Tell us what we want to hear. That's banking and finance. But the parallel is that there are some people who are just great at finance. They excel in it. They have that ability. And it's not even that they sell their soul and they suck cock and kiss ass. They're just good at it. They jive. You know, that's the thing. Some people are great car salesmen. Sounds like a horrible... Some people excel. They love it. So you at least owe it to yourself to give you that shot. Now, also because you've trained in this field and you don't have any immediate skills or trades right now, it more or less behooves you or forces you to get a job in tourism anyway, because that's going to pay you marginally more than you just go in entry-level manual physical labor. So I would use your degree, worthless as it may be, to get any kind of job that'll put food on the table. You got to feed yourself, clothe yourself, and shelter yourself. That's the number one thing. So you do that. And then from there, once you get a job, then you start going for, you start preparing for your next career. You start to train or educate yourself into the new one. Now, for you personally, what is that? Well, if you don't like math or you're not terribly fond of it, but you can still do a little bit of it, like like if you could do high school algebra, although it may not translate directly in China. I don't know how the education system works there. But if you could do algebra, you certainly have the mathematical aptitude to do accounting or computer networking or management information systems. They're completely different balls of wax, both of them separate from each other and from tourism. You're going to be learning from ground up. But start now. Once you get your job and you start having money come in, okay, now you take your nighttime classes and get your certification in accounting, whatever that may be in South Korea or China, or if you decide to come here in the United States. But whatever, so go online. I'm completely unaware of how the Korean or the Chinese educational systems work. I'm sure there are some schools that are more accredited than others. But find yourself a nighttime, part-time job. Preferably you could go online and learn this stuff. Accounting and computer networking, it's the same thing here in the United States. There may be some slight differences, but it should be self-teachable. You can self-teach yourself. It will be an issue of finding the credentials. So that's what your goal should be. You do the 2 to 3 year plan to find this thing, and it's going to take another 2 to 3 years because this stuff you can learn it overnight. You could master management information. So I'm not master it, but you could become completely proficient in setting up computer networks if you just balls to the wall did it for 3 months study. Same thing with accounting. You could teach yourself bookkeeping in about 2 months, but it's the issue of getting the accreditation and certification. So that's where you're going to have to take night classes, and just it's going to suck for the next 2 to 3 years. But while you're doing that, immediately, once you have the slightest bit of skill or ability, like let's say you go the accounting route and you learn the concept of accounts payable and how to, the contracts that are written on 30 days, 20 and all this other stuff, start volunteering or offering to do this work at the companies you are working at in the tourism industry. And what will happen is you may get the best of both worlds, where someone say, oh wow, look, this gal, yeah, she did tourism, but she also is and she does accounting. Well, we could use her over in Macau, or we could use her over in Singapore or wherever else. And that may still allow you to be in tourism in your preferred field and not being working some sucky ass job. But that sucky ass job of going back to school is going to happen no matter what. IT will be a little bit more complicated. It's going to take some doing, but it's still going to be the same path and plan. You're going to have to set aside 2 to 3 years, get proficient at it, throw yourself into it, volunteer to become the IT person, the IT person's assistant, and learn on the job for free, and then that will accelerate your career there. Finally, if you are fluent in Chinese, English, and Korean, and you're going to start studying Spanish, that I think is, I know this is off the wall, I think you should go work for one of the spy agencies, either in Korea, China, or the United States. Watch, I think it's A Few Dollars More, or A Fistful of Dollars. It's Clint Eastwood, it's a spaghetti western. And he doesn't care what team he plays for. Whoever pays him the most, that's who he goes, and he's a gunslinger, so whoever pays him the most, he goes and works for him. I think you should do the same. If you're fluent in all, the Chinese would love to spy on the Koreans and the Americans. The Americans would love to spy on the Chinese as well as the North Koreans, and the South Koreans would love to just pay the fuck attention to what's going on with all three. You may want to think about applying for one of the espionage or military analyst or intelligence services, the spy services of these three countries. And the other thing is, you're a cute girl. You sent some pictures. Thank you. Anytime you girls want to send me pictures, you certainly may. You might have natural gifts that you are unaware of that would be completely employable in other regards, not the tourism industry, but the government and the spy world. So I just that kind of, you're that, and you are very fluent in English. Like, your English is superb with the writing. So yeah, I would do that. And then obviously, don't just apply in China or Korea, but apply in United Kingdom, Australia, any English-speaking country. Apply for it. So it's going to take some while. Don't worry, you're 23. This is all the wandering in the desert everybody does. You at least know you've made a mistake instead of like the typical American girls. I'm smart. I got a master's degree. Ah! You're kind of like, oh, I fucked up, and now you know. So that's good. So at least you're getting into the real world. You are accepting reality, and all your decisions are going to be based on reality. And you're going to have much more success and practical progress in the long term. But it's just going to take some time. So, but yeah, look into the espionage agencies. I know it's a crazy shot, but those languages, the U.S. military would be very interested in you, I think. So, anyway, hope this helps out. Best of luck to you. Toodles.